Log into supercar. Select a star from tab. These are all tables created, 24 tables created, along with the relationships. Okay, that relationship tree you can see here. You can compare our tree with this relationship tree. We have utilities here. Browse tables. You can see all these tables. In case if you required MySQL database schema, if you required MySQL database, give MySQL database credentials here. Go to Hibernate configuration file. Change these connection properties to MySQL. In MySQL also create one super car and username, password, root and root. Use dialect, MySQL dialect. Yeah. And the schema we are using supercar only, right? In all these tables, supercar schema only we are using. So go to MySQL database. Create database. Supercar. Use supercar. Show tables. We don't have any table. Run this test. Schema export completed. Now show tables. All tables generated. So successfully our ORM executing. Then the next job what we should do here, we need to generate DAOs. I'll show you one format how to write DAO. So for every database operation, the main required operations are what? For every database table, the main required operations from client side. Insert. From application you may need to do insert, or you may need to do update, delete, and you may require single record, you may require all records. These are all required common operations from any table, right? We have up to 24 tables. From 24 tables, sometimes you may need to insert data, sometimes you may update the data, sometimes you may need to delete data, sometimes you may need to do find, sometimes you may require to find all. These all 5 operations you may require to operate on your tables, right? So write a DAO class. Let's say we have a car class, supercar car class. We have a table supercar car class. In that supercar car table, We have properties like car ID, car name, car type, and model year. We have multiple columns. In case user, if you want to insert, or if you want to update, or if you want to know, or if you want to get all the records. If we require to do operations like insert, if you want to insert, or if you want to update, or if you want to delete, or if you want to find, or if you want to get all the records, how many cars are there if you want to see. You may require to do all these database operations, right? So write one DAO class here, class DAO, car DAO class. In that car DAO class, write all the required methods. We just write for insert, the naming conventions used here, save. For update, update method. For delete, write one delete method. For find, write one find method. For find all, write one find all method. And the required inputs. To do save operation, what we required in case of ORM? We required an object. Which object? Car object. For updating, same car object. For deleting, object. For finding, ID. To find all, nothing is required. So to make operations on this car table, we just required a car object here. We know how to save car, we know how to update car and delete cars by using ORM classes. And if you know ID, how to get single records also we know by using get methods or load methods. In case if you require all records, we know how to get all records. Okay, and the return types, in case of save operation, user may expect this ID value. In case of update operation, user may expect boolean values. For delete also, user may expect boolean value. For find, your object he can expect car object. For find all, list of car objects he can expect user. So write this multiple set of methods in a DAO class. But before writing these methods, you need to follow IOC architecture, IOC rules. You need to follow IOC rules here. As per IOC rules, instead of implementing a car class first, you need to create a interface. You need to create a car DAO interface. These all methods should be abstract methods. So for each table you need to write one interface. For each table you need to write one interface in the same way. And for these interfaces you need to provide implementations. Car DAO implements car DAO interface, and you should provide all the implementations here. Okay, must you need to use interface model. From interfaces you need to provide implementations. To make your application lightweight, must you need to have interfaces and implementation model. Interface implementation model compulsory you should use here. So for this 24 tables, you need to design 24 DAO interfaces and the 24 DAO implementations. So you need to have, already we have repository folder here, right? We have repositories, supercar repositories we have. Again, these repositories we may require multiple repositories. For user model, one repository. For user model, user repository, users repository, user model repository. So I'll write one class here, one interface. Under user model repository, one interface. We have users, right? We have one users, one employees, one drivers, and one address. Right? So for all these, write 4 DAO classes. Users DAO interface. Write methods public int, save, user only, user. select or find all. For finding user record, complete user record, that one is not required. I mean, complete object is not required. Just ID is enough, and you can expect a object. And see here, this one should be primary key. For some tables I given string primary keys. In that case use strings, or else you can use integers. And in this structure itself, if you want to use final keyword, you can use. If you want to make that parameters final parameters. If you make them final, what happens? Inside DAO class you can't able to do any modifications. Just whatever the data you are sending from DAO, I mean business, that same data you need to insert. You can't able to do any modifications. So final method arguments also you can take. In case of find all, you can send list of users. Then for this one you need to provide implementation. Okay. So for the remaining all users, for user 1, and we have an address and one employee interface. The same number of methods. Okay. For all 24 tables, write interfaces, provide implementations. In that implementations, what we have to use? Spring we have to use. Spring ORM. You know, right, how to use Spring ORM? Right? Provide implementations also by using ORM. I'll show you one implementation here. That integrations later we can provide. Means from Spring XML file later we can inject required Hibernate template objects. But as of now, just use Hibernate template in implementation class, provide one DAO implementation class here, user DAO IMPL, implement it from user DAO interface. So here you need to use one parameter, private Hibernate template, use Hibernate template here, make it auto-wire. Okay, by using that Hibernate template, do save operation. Hibernate template dot save your user. It will return integer. Make update operation. Update will not return anything, right? So Hibernate template dot update. Default return true. In case if it get any exception, it will throws exception, right? So if update throws exception means it is false. Delete. Call delete method, pass user. And one thing is required here, better to throws exceptions for all these methods. Hibernate will not raise any exception, right? In case if it get any problem, it need to report. At runtime it will report to us, right? So better to report that exceptions. In case while implementing you no need to override, I mean in that overridden method no need to throws any exception. By default it will throws. Okay? Or else you can write here. Okay, delete operation, fine. Find operation, you can use Hibernate template dot get method. Get user dot class and pass that ID directly here. It will return user object. and find all. For find all in Hibernate template we have method Hibernate template dot find method. Here I can write from users. That's it.